Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Wanders Elsewhere. Today's Valheim episode, we'll be discussing cooking and the Cauldron, cover all the resources through the different biomes and tiers. Game is in early access, so there could always be more after this recording is made, or I might not have caught everything. We'll start things with the meadows and some of the first food items you can expect to find. Raspberries and mushrooms are available right at the start. They're hiding behind the starting stones, and you can find them throughout the meadows. Raspberries give you 10 health, 20 stamina. Mushrooms at 15 and 20, both for 600 seconds and 1 HP a tick. You can find honey in the meadows. That one's a little more complicated. You gotta find a beehive, usually in an abandoned structure. You can shoot that with a bow, or you can build a workbench and dismantle the structure. Trick my buddy likes to use. Dandelions are found in the meadows. Not used for anything directly, but we'll use those in the cauldron later. The first two meat sources you're going to find are necktails and raw meat. You get necktails off these little lizard guys that'll come and attack you near the water. Raw meat off of boars or deer. When you approach a cooking station and hit E, it's going to select raw meat by default. If you want to use anything else in your inventory, you can put it on your hotbar and tap that number. Each food item has a different cook time. Raw meat, I think, is around 25 seconds. I think the neck is a little faster at 20. But you just wait that out. You'll hear a little sizzle. That's your kitchen timer going off. Just wait for that. There we go. Both those are done. Once the sizzle goes off, they start working their way to burning. If you don't get them in time, they will turn into coal. Not the worst early game source of coal. Stats on that cooked meat are 40-30, 1200 seconds, 2 HP a tick. And that necktail, 35-20, 1000 seconds, 2 HP a tick. My starting diet tends to be necktail, cooked meat, and mushrooms. Or raspberries, whichever I have more of around. That'll let you take on the first boss. After you've done that, you'll have access to tin. Tin will let you make the cauldron. At this point, you're roaming around the Black Forest, and in the Black Forest, you can find your yellow mushrooms. Those are 20-20. Blueberries, 15-20. You'll find thistle, much like the dandelion. Don't use that directly, but we'll use it in recipes later. In the Black Forest, you'll also find carrot seeds. I'll put a screenshot up of what those look like. You have to use a cultivator and plant those. I'll show you what that looks like too. But with that, we'll come over to the cauldron and see some of the starting recipes. Queen's Jam is one of the first things you'll make. Takes those raspberries and blueberries and improves the buff they give you to 30-40 for 1200 seconds. You get a batch of 4 every time you cook this. Totally worth it. Once you get the cauldron in, you can start cooking raw foods, just not something you should be doing anymore. Tasty mead. We are not given the stats for that, but I'll show you here. It says lower health and stamina regeneration. I think that grammar is kind of bad. It lowers your health regen, but it buffs your stamina regen through the roof. It only lasts for 10 seconds. So I think it's situational. You probably use it while out trade skilling. You've hit a copper node or chopped down a bunch of trees, your stamina's empty. Drink one of those and you can regain it really quickly. At this point you can also start making other mead bases like minor stamina, minor healing. So those mead bases, you got to throw them in a fermenter. The fermenter is bronze and fine wood. If you're not sure how to get those things, I've got a resource guide that'll get you there. Check that out. It's called Bronze Age. Alright, what's next up on our food list? Poison resistance potion. To go to your next biome, which is the swamp, you're going to want to have these handy. Every batch of mead base gives you 6 meads. The resistance meads each last for 10 seconds. 10 seconds, 10 minutes. So you get an hour to play with per batch. If you go into the swamp without the poison resistance, you're probably going to die. But once you've gone into the swamp, you'll get blood bags from the leeches, entrails from the droger. You can find turnip seeds. I'll put a screenshot up of what those look like. Use the cultivator to grow your turnips like you do the carrots. That's going to let us cook even more stuff, like the sausages. Don't ask how the meat is made. It's one of my favorite food items. 60-40, 1600 seconds, 3 HP a tick, and it becomes really plentiful after you've done your iron farming. You're going to have a lot of resources to make that if you want to. If you've grown some turnips, you'll be able to make turnip stew. 50-50, 1600 to a tick. Not too shabby. Blood bags let you make your frost resistance mead. You need that to go into the mountains. Pretty much the way you need poison to go into the swamp. Go into the mountains without the frost resistance mead, you will start to take freezing damage over time. I overlooked the carrot soup. You can actually make this from the Black Forest 2060. After all your swamp stuff is made, medium healing potions, or meads, rather. Not to medium stamina yet, but medium healing, you can make that from the swamp. After you've visited the swamp, plains are next up. Plains are... they look beautiful. They're super deadly. Watch out. Cloudberries are there. I'll show you a screenshot of what those look like. Also find barley and flax on the plains. Those are going to be in the fulling camps, though. You'll know a fulling camp when you see it. Put a screenshot up of what those materials look like from my farm. You take your barley, you bring it over to your windmill, and this windmill will turn your barley to flour, much like the way your other structures process materials. Once you have your barley, flour, you can make bread, which you can use to make lox meat pies. Lox are these rather large critters you find out on the plains. I'll put a screenshot up of what one of those looks like. Best food in the game right here, in my opinion. Don't turn all your barley into flour. To make your fire resistance barley wine, you'll need raw barley and cloudberries. Blood pudding, highest health item in the game to my knowledge. 90-50, that's crazy. Flour also lets us make fish wraps here, 60-90. That is a great food item as well. And at this point, you've probably been out on the sea and encountered a sea serpent or two, which you can use to make serpent stew. So you can eat the raw lox meat, or cooked lox meat and cooked serpent meat without turning them into the pies or the stews, and they give 70-40 for a similar amount of time, but I think it's worth cooking and getting the better buff. I think that just about covers all the food items you can encounter in Valheim up to this point. If there's any questions or anything I left out, please let me know in the comments. Any future subjects you'd like to see me cover, let me know as well. If you've enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Tiny channel and every bit helps me grow it. Can't do it without y'all. I wish you well in your Valheim adventures, and I will see y'all on the next one.